Hello, my name is Milind, and this is the third video journal entry regarding my placement as a teaching assistant in the Fitness and Health Promotion Department at Cambridge College. In this entry, I will discuss a SWOT analysis that was performed on myself and analyze my performance based off of the information provided in it. I will attempt to use my experience thus far in the placement to analyze whether my supervisor would agree with my performance analysis as well as the entire SWOT analysis. I will also discuss my current progress with the goals set in the previous entry, as well as any changes that may need to be implemented due to any variation in my own thought process or a complete change in goals as I learn more about the placement itself. To start things off, I will be listing out my strengths and providing a little bit of information post that to maybe explain or justify why I believe that to be the case. There are two strengths that I would like to highlight because I feel that they have been emphasized through the placement up till now. First of which being versatility in daily performance. Teaching is a very dynamic position in the classroom. You need to make sure that you are ready for questions. That it keeps changing. No class is the same. And especially because there are different time slots with different students, I need to be ready for whatever they're throwing at me and be able to help the professor as well. So I feel that I have been able to adapt very well and think quick on my feet. I have also been able to handle whatever's thrown at me during practical assessments and presentations and react accordingly. The second strength that I would like to discuss is communication with the professor and the students. I believe that this has been going smoothly, and I can see that as I am able to understand the needs of the professor and the students before it has to be communicated verbally. I am seeing that they are more comfortable. Both the professors and the students have been able to communicate with me more openly and freely, which shows that communication has improved over time from the beginning of the placement up till now. This ties into the answer for the first question, which is what are your biggest strengths as an employee? I do believe that the two aforementioned strengths are my biggest strengths as an employee, as they have allowed me to be a good employee not only in my current placement but also in my past jobs, and I definitely believe that this will help me in my future jobs as well. Moving on to weaknesses, I do see that time management and adherence to at-home work seem to be my largest weaknesses. With regards to time management, I am not able to provide the right amount of time to the placement itself. I do see that my other subjects and my work aren't hindered by the placement, but the placement itself is not receiving the right amount of time that it should be. And adherence to at-home work, I have noticed that I do not commit to finishing too much work at home, and this also ties into time management. I'm not allocating enough time to the work that has to be done at home. This is shown as I have missed out on a few deadlines when it comes to providing some material to the professor, which has reflected badly on me. And this is something that I definitely want to change. This also ties into the second question, which talks about what areas I feel that I could improve the most and what strategies I want to implement. This is definitely one of the areas that I need to work on. And with regards to the strategies, I do plan on making a different schedule just to allocate at least 4 hours of at-home work just for my placement. This would also increase my hours count for the entire week, but at the same time allocate me enough time to work on the extra slides and preparation for the classes that are upcoming. I am going to list out my opportunities. Out of all the opportunities that are available, I do believe that there is one main opportunity, which would be taking on more responsibility by assisting students after class hours. This would mean that I take my own time post class to help students out with maybe doubts or any questions that they may have about assignments or the course material itself. This would help me build a better rapport with the students themselves and help the professor by reducing their workload by just a little bit. Looking at the final category, which is threats, I see that my physical condition is something that may hinder me from participating fully in teaching sessions. This has happened already, as an injury in the gym limited the mobility in my arm, which forced me to step back from teaching a few classes. The last threat is that the content can sometimes be too advanced for me to teach in class. I have noticed that this becomes an issue when I'm not too familiar with the content that I'm teaching. And even though I do prepare before class, I have noticed that I'm not able to provide the right amount of information or teach at the same level as the professor, which means that the students are lesser prepared for their exams or assessments. Based off of all of this information, especially with the SWOT analysis, I believe that my performance so far on scale of 10 has been 7. It isn't amazing, but at the same time, it is slightly above average. I do believe that my mentioning of my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats shows that I have been performing well enough, but I definitely have room for improvement. Now, to answer the last question in this section, which is, do I think my supervisor would agree with my SWOT analysis? I definitely believe that she would agree with the SWOT analysis, mainly because she has mentioned how well I have adapted to the classes as time has passed, specifically with strengths in consideration. She has also noticed that I am building better rapport with the students and I'm communicating with them better. With the weaknesses, although I have identified that these are weaknesses in myself, I have also been informed by my supervisor that these are things that I definitely need to work on, specifically because my experience with these weaknesses has been directly with her and it impacting her work. With regards to the opportunities and threats, these are things that I have not specifically discussed with her, but I still do believe that this is something that she would be interested in. Again, because the opportunity is something that helps her, it helps take some of the workload off of her. And the threats are something that she has experienced herself with regards to my physical condition, as well as the content being too advanced, where she has had to step in and teach the class when I could not. I will be providing an update on how my journey to achieving my goals is going. The first goals that I would mention are the soft skill goals. I had spoken about time management, punctuality, and social skills. With regards to punctuality, I do believe that I'm going on the right track. I have not had any delay in either work, classes, or placement. I have maintained my punctuality throughout, which is a very good sign. It is going in the right direction. With regards to social skills, as mentioned earlier, I am more comfortable communicating with the students and the professor as are they communicating with me. Which is a really good thing. This shows that I have improved my social skills and implemented it in a very positive way where they feel comfortable talking to me. Finally, speaking of time management, this is one of the things that was mentioned in my weakness. So I'm going to wait and see how it changes by the end of the semester. But so far, there hasn't been any progress. There has been a decline, rather, with this soft skill. Moving on to the hard skills, I have mentioned helping underperforming students, identifying and providing valuable feedback after practical assessments, and teaching a class with minimal assistance. Speaking of helping underperforming students, I have worked with the professor to identify underperforming students and have started providing them with a little bit more of my time in order to help them out. Then, speaking of providing valuable feedback after practical assessments, we have had one practical assessment so far, and in that, I was able to identify the same problems as the professor. And as mentioned in my previous entry, this is one of the success criterias for this goal, as I was able to identify the same thing as the professor and provide good feedback based off of those errors and actually helping the student understand what had been done wrong and helping them correct it. Finally, teaching a class with minimal assistance. So far, I have still been taking assistance from the professor as I am not very familiar with the teaching process. But I do believe that I am getting better and taking lesser and lesser help from the professor and guiding the class on my own. Now, to answer the last two questions, the first of which being, is my progress as advanced as I had anticipated by this point, and justifying why I think that is. Uh, so, mainly, I would say that my progress is appropriate so far. There are a few fields where I would have definitely hoped to progress in, like time management, but unfortunately, I haven't been unable to and have regressed instead. Uh, but with everything else, I do believe that by the end of the semester, I can definitely see myself reaching my goals as I have progressed enough according to the time that I've spent in the placement itself, which is close to 70 hours right now. Now, to answer the final question, which is, do I need to reconsider or modify my goals? And if so, identify why they need to be changed. I personally feel that my goals do not need to be modified or changed, mainly because some of the goals are my weaknesses and they definitely need to be worked on, such as time management. As I mentioned before, this is something that definitely needs to get better, as well as punctuality and social skills. Although they aren't regressing, I would definitely like to see more progress in them, as they will help me in the future, from a professional standpoint. Then, speaking of helping students as well as identifying problems with performance and providing valuable feedback, these are two things that directly assist my profession, as helping students will allow me to again rectify problems that they may have, which is very important as a personal trainer. That is what my job is going to be. And identifying errors, again, something that is very important to my job role and something that I will be doing on a daily basis. Finally, speaking of teaching a class with minimal assistance, although this does not help with my role as a personal trainer, as I mentioned earlier, I do want to be an educator much into the future. So, learning how to teach will definitely be the most imperative step when it comes to that profession. So, it would definitely benefit me to keep these goals as they are and make sure that I adhere to them and see that I'm progressing in all of these. In conclusion, I would like to say that my SWOT analysis has led me to believe that my performance is adequate for the stage that I'm at right now with my placement. Additionally, my current progress in the goals that I've set beforehand are also adequate, provided that I have only finished 70 hours in my placement. I did not expect to achieve my goals by now, but I have achieved what I expected so far. Thank you very much.